guys all good? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the work session meeting for February 21st, 2023. It is 6 o'clock. Call this meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Here.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Here.
Commissioner Romanek?
Here.
Commissioner Watson?
Here.
Mayor Orndorff?
Here. Just stand for the salute of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Clerk, are there any changes to this agenda?
Yes, Mayor, there was one addition, which was the discussion item for the appeal of decision by Zoning Board of Adjustment by Richard Abbott.
Thank you. And we'll start with presentations.
We've cut Film Festival 2023, and we have Bill Horn here to present on that. Come on up. Would you like me to hit the lights for your presentation? Sure.
Should be turned on.
You might have to hit it twice to turn it on. That's the trick.
There you go, that's on.
Cool. Okay, let me ask, would you be able to come down here to watch?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm definitely a visual person, so. Whoa. I'm gonna hold the mic. Okay. Well, first, I'd like to thank the City of Millville one more time for their support last year. We had a very, very successful first film festival. And this year, we have a lot of changes, a lot of things we're going to do differently and make it better. My name is Bill Horn. I'm the co-founder of the film festival, and I'm also the founder and director of Artsy. So a lot of the filmmakers from last year have been sending us pictures like this. They were so proud to get their awards. They were very happy to be part of our film festival, the way we handled it, the way we presented it. They're all coming back. We've already got quite a few submissions, and last year at this time we had 0 submissions. On our Film Freeway page, there's all kinds of comments. We're 5 stars now on the Film Freeway page. So this is going to help us get even better films this year, which we had a lot of good ones last year. So some of the changes for this year, we're making it a 2-day festival. I've already paid and booked the Lavoie Theater for 2 days this time. We have a new logo design. We've updated our website. We have updated promotional video. We have a new poster, which is sitting in front of you up there. And we're also doing something a little different, and it's going to be a big deal, is we're going to do live streaming. Because a lot of the people that entered our film festival were from Europe or from Asia, from all over the world, and they weren't able to make it. And there's even people in the area that couldn't make it. So with the live streaming and the live event, it's going to increase the reach tremendously. So we've already signed with a company that does live streaming, and we have Chris Arazi going to be helping with that as well. Another thing, we're going to be premiering one of our original Artsy documentaries the first night of the film festival, and it's going to be on the Off-Broad Street Players. So once again, Lavoie Theater, there's our new logo. This is the way it looks with the laurels. The website, we just started updating the website. All the new information is on the website, so we got an early start this year on everything. Some of the pages, we updated the photos, we updated the images, everything that goes with it. And I think this is our new promotional video. And it played a minute ago. Hey Chris, why isn't it playing? It what? There you go. films that we chose, so the way that they were presented, the level and quality of the film presentation, the theater we held this in, the quality of the projector, everything was just top notch.
Let her roll.
So in the next few months, we'll be updating this quite a few times. As we get more films in, as we get newer material, we will keep updating the promotional video. And it plays again. It was worth watching twice. I would have played it twice. So we also have a new poster. Last year's poster, not so great. We knew it wasn't a great poster. It was towards the end when we were really getting to where we had just done so much to promote the film festival. So this year I had a graphic designer I work with frequently come up with a new poster for us, and it looks great, and it's going to be all over the place. We're starting to put these up starting this week, actually. This is the hybrid film festival. It's a lot of your best film festivals are now hybrid festivals. It started during COVID, but some of them did it even before COVID. So besides having a live event, which a lot of people will come to, we're going to be able to stream this. And with the streaming, we can do other things. At intermission, for example, we can actually show 30-second commercials that go into intermission. There can be a commercial for the city of Millville that's going to reach a large audience. We already got the Cumberland County Cultural and Heritage interested in doing a commercial. Several other businesses will be doing the same thing. So we're going to reach a lot more people around the world by streaming as well as having a live event. This is Walter Webster. A lot of you must know Walter Webster, the Off-Broad Street Players. I just interviewed him. So I've been covering the Off-Broad Street Players, I've been filming their commercials for 7 years. I mean, I think they do amazing work. So we're really excited about this documentary, and we're excited about premiering it to start the film festival. It's going to be a great way to get people in the door for the film festival, and it's also going to be a great way to promote something that's happening in Millville. We're going to be featured in 2 different magazines already. Lifestyle Magazine is a very high-end magazine that reaches mostly Atlantic County in that area, and then SJ Magazine, which reaches the western part of South Jersey. So the goal this year is to draw people more from different areas of South Jersey, not just the Millville area. So these will reach into different parts of South Jersey and Philadelphia, and we're going to have a feature in each of these magazines. So shorts are the key. We're a short film festival, nothing more than 20 minutes. It was very successful for us last year. We're going to stick to that format. We have international appeal already. 30 countries last year participated in the film festival. The reaction we got was amazing, and now with the streaming, they'll be able to even see what we're doing with the film festival. Small town charm, that's Millville. We use Film Freeway for submissions and to promote the film festival. We've been very successful with them, so we're sticking with them for this year as well. We have a 5-year plan to make this a really big deal. So this is year number 2. As you can see, we're adding a lot of new things. We're going to be growing a lot this year. We're including a lot of downtown businesses and restaurants and eateries. We're reaching out to a larger audience. We're going to go into Philadelphia. One of the things we did last year, we had it in October, the same weekend as the Philadelphia Film Festival. I did not know that when I booked it. So we want to get that Philadelphia market this year, and we lost them to the Philadelphia Film Festival last year. So we're looking for sponsors. We're working on that, but it all starts with the city of Millville. And as I said, your support last year really got us started with this, and we're hoping to get the same support this year. That's it. That's pretty fast. Unless you want to see the video again, I can show that again. Okay, thank you.
up.
Oh, no, I'm looking at it later.
Bill, thank you for coming and presenting that. I know I was one that missed it last year on the date. I think I was away at a wedding out of town, but I heard really great things, and I did, as soon as you posted the video, I think there was a YouTube link to kind of a teaser of what you just showed this evening. It was really, really impressive. Actually just showed it to my coworkers, letting them know that there was going to be a new one this year. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I'm around this September for it as well. So thank you for presenting it. Anybody else have any comments or anything for?
No, I went to the film festival last year. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Really, some of the short films are very, very interesting. They made you think, and it was interesting.
Thank you. All right, we will go on to presentation number 2.
Okay, it's the library annual report presented by Courtney Reese, library director.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thanks very much for allowing me to come out, commissioners, to speak with you today. This is the annual report of the library, and we like to come out and speak to you once a year at least to let you know what our progress has been. Everybody is very aware of the building plans that we're doing. You can't really go up and down Buck Street without seeing. Do I have to start all over? Thank you.
Thanks, Joanna.
So you really can't go up and down Buck Street right now without being aware that there is building going on. And it is a very exciting time for us to see everything going up, and you can watch it grow almost daily at this present time. It's going to close to double the size of the library, providing more space for children and teens and some individual spaces for people who need a specific place to come and have meetings, whether that's business people or tutors or small organizations that want to come and have like quiet, private meetings in the library. It's really going to be such a game changer for us when that is finished, and everybody wants to know what that date is, and it is approximately March or April of 2024 is when we're looking at the entire project being done. So we're on our way. We're on our way. But of course, the first thing that has to happen is that we come here, we talk to you, we keep you all up to date with what we're going on about. So I'm going to start with the report, and of course we start with love to read, because everybody thinks about when we go to the library, what are we going to go for? We're going to get reading materials. So the library was open 2,704 hours this last year. 35,965 people, almost 36,000 people actually used the library. The library owns nearly 70,000 items, and of those 70,000 items, 26,187 actual print materials were checked out, and 5,570 e-books and e-audiobooks were downloaded from our digital collection. And we do all of this, it says with 10.5 FTE, but there's 3 or 4 people who never even walk out on that front floor that you will never see. They provide services in the background, but they're not providing face-to-face service. But I have to say that of all the libraries in Cumberland County, we do, and I know you might think that I'm just patting myself on the back here, but truthfully, other people from all around the county come to me and say, this is the most welcoming library. This is the library where I go when I want a quiet space to work. This is the place where I go when I want to find the materials that I need. Whether we have it or not, we will order it for you from another library if you need that. We just about turn ourselves on our heads to make sure that when you walk out that door, you have what you need, or it's on its way to the best of our ability to get that. And so, having said all of that, out of the 28,000 people who are actually considered residents of Millville, 19,034 of them have library cards. I think that's a pretty amazing statistic when you think about the number of people versus the number of cards. So we're really proud of that number as well. And one of the reasons people love to come to the library is technology, whether they need to use our public access computers, whether they need to be able to figure out how to use their own device. Sometimes people get, grandma gets that new Kindle at Christmas time and she comes in and she's like, I don't know what to do with this. We help her do that. We help people search for jobs. So it says here that 5,670 people used our computers to apply for jobs, do schoolwork, and even register for a fishing license. I have these old men that come in and they're like, I don't know anything about these computers, but this is the only way I'm going to get my fishing license. So, that's a big thing for them to go out and use the waterways of the Millville area. And there were 5,838 connections to our Wi-Fi lasting a half an hour or longer. So that's a lot of Wi-Fi usage right out of our library. And 139,383 visits to our website. So obviously people are loving the technology and they're coming to use the library on a daily basis. We help people, I can't even tell you how many times a week we help people figure out how to get their own email address. Something so simple and basic for most of the people in this room, but if you don't have one, it's really hard to get around in life anymore without that. On the other side of our paper, we're talking about why we love to participate. So 211 programs were offered to children and teens. 1,665 kids participated in summer reading. That's like an 8-week period, and we got 1,665 people through the door. 172 programs were planned for adults. But this is what I really want to say about our programming. Since I became the library director, I said, why are we doing programs for children over here, programs for adults over here? I have turned it around so that the majority of our programming now is considered intergenerational programming. We want mom and dad and grandmom to be in the room with those kids. We want families to learn how to create and learn and build together so that they can form those family bonds and become stronger in their families. We don't want to separate them out. We want them to come together. And so we're doing intergenerational programming for the most part. So our Lego Club that's happening this evening, we've got dads in there. And how often do we see dads participate in family activities? We've got dads in there building with their children. And at the end of the evening, each child, this is a really unique opportunity too, each child will stand up and say, this is what I built, and this is the story behind why I built it. So if a 7, 8, 9-year-old can start getting comfortable doing public speaking at that age, then one of these days, Mayor Orndorff, they may be sitting in your chair.
Absolutely, I encourage it.
So that's what we're doing. We're trying to build all kinds of skills there, right? And people love to learn. People love to learn. Our reference staff answered 6,795 questions last year. You come to our library, I don't know how to do this. What's the answer to that? We will try our very best to help you get those answers. The library provided 64 computer classes. Now, that's not individual classes, that is 64 sets of classes over the course of the year for adults and seniors. And 42 students studied to obtain their high school diploma. If you don't have that high school diploma, anybody in here without one, make sure you get it, because there's no going forward in life anymore without that high school diploma. So finally, the library needs support, and we're very grateful for the support that the city gives us. It says local government revenue was $599,159. Of that, $533,000 came directly from the city. So we really do appreciate that. That's what keeps the lights on. That's what pays our staff. And the library, to its own effect, did raise $30,543 in notary fees, printing, and other services to the public. And the library itself raised $146,566 in grant money. So we're trying to do our part to keep things going, keep the lights on ourselves, and pay for all these programming things that we're doing. For instance, that grant money paid for the computer classes. The grant money pays for all of our children's programming and all the materials that are included in that. And then, and I know that we have at least one of them here, the amazing Friends of the Library raised $14,484 for library materials, including that fax machine. I don't know how many of you ever need a fax machine, but we use that fax machine 2 and 3 times a day for different people. They come in to get copies made, they come in to print things off on our printer. For instance, many companies now don't give you a paper check. They just digitally download into your bank account your money. And unless you come in and print out, or at home, you can do it at home too, print out that pay stub, you don't really see what the breakdown of all that money that you've just earned really is. So we do provide that as well. We have support through local partnerships. One of those partners helped us get $920,000 to help build the new library. So we really do value our partners, and we know that that's a great source of all kinds, not just money, but also support for us in the community. And what we've tried to do, especially with this new library when it reopens, is sort of establish a community campus, if you would, for the city of Millville. Where the library is situated is almost directly catty-corner from the Holly City Family Center, if you're not aware of that. So you've got the pool, you've got all that gym equipment, all of that exercise stuff that you can do to keep your health and your body strong, just like the library is trying to help you keep your mind strong. And down behind us is the park, so you can go and play basketball and enjoy yourself that way. And then we've got the whole arts district, so the creative side of people, that you can explore that as well. So this is pretty much my report. I hope you all, every one of you, I want to see all of you in the library before the month is out. Come on, come on. We love to see people. We love to wait on you. We are friendly and welcoming, and we'd like to have the opportunity to show that to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you. Thank you, Courtney.
Should I turn this off?
You can keep it on, it's fine. Thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on, we'll go to public comment on agenda items only. If anybody has a comment, concern on the agenda items only, please come to the podium, state your name, your concerns, and limit those comments to 5 minutes, please. Yes.
All right, so good evening, everybody. Before I get started, is it okay if I approach the bench and hand out some documentation that I've been able to obtain?
If I may, are you going to discuss the appeal? Okay,
Absolutely, yes.
because you have an attorney. I spoke with him this morning, Mr. DeSanto.
Correct.
And the purpose today is merely to schedule a date for a hearing.
Correct, and I'm asking for it to be dropped because of issues that
Well-
have not been filed. or
Well,
followed.
all of the issues are going to be heard at the time of the hearing, and we have to give notice under the statute to Mr. Abbott as well, so he can
Correct.
be at the hearing and have his attorney. So we can't entertain evidence or argument outside of the hearing.
All right, so then I won't give you what I'm going to tell you. I will let anybody else who wants to see it
Right.
because it's all documented. I mean, and I'll discuss that anyway. So, New Jersey State Statute 40:50.
Excuse me, Sean, I believe you're saying he cannot speak on this topic because there's currently.
Why can I
Well,
not
because there's no
There's-
notice to the other
there's
party.
no notice to the
and
o-
today's
yeah.
not the date of the hearing.
This is not,
and
it's
then
not,
the-
it's not nothing to do with the appeal at all? It's
But-
not, it's not the
but
merits
this-
of the appeal?
But it's a procedural issue. It's one I discussed with Mr. DeSanto, so I'm well aware of it. He's going to make that argument when we come back for the hearing.
So
And it
I would prefer not to, because I have to pay attorney fees to do all this when it should never get to this point
Well-
anyway, because there was a timely issue in regards to how
Sean,
this was
excuse me,
filed.
Make a motion for a 5-minute recess so I can talk to the attorney.
Yes, make a motion roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Carries.
It says discussion, I know, I saw it. Still what discussion means, right? I am not going to discuss what I was going to discuss this evening after speaking with the city attorney, and I will address that individually. However, everybody who knows me, you already know why I'm here. My name is Sean Thom. I'm Executive Director of Our Future First. I am here for a very simple reason in regards to this agenda item, this appeal by Mr. Abbott in regards challenging the zoning. So if you had a chance to look at anything regarding, you know what, actually, I am going to sit down because I do not think that it is appropriate for me to comment on things currently because I do not think I can speak without being biased to my own cause. So I will actually recuse myself and I'll let the ample amount of people who are here to support what we are trying to do as a community speak instead. Thank you.
And if I may, just so everyone in the audience understands, the purpose of this agenda item, which you'll notice, not a closed session item, it's an open session item, and the purpose is to schedule a hearing date. And once the board decides when that would be, and I don't know whether that would be a meeting in March or a meeting in April, and I think the commissioners will have to decide it. Once that's done, then we would then have to send notice by certified mail to all the interested parties of that date, along with the transcript. And I think Mr. Tom may already have the transcript, but that would go out.
Do not.
You don't?
We have received nothing from the city about anything regarding this appeal. Everything we saw was
Right,
found
that
in
was,
the down on the website.
that was all, so that, the transcript, my understanding was gonna go out to.
Okay, well, the transcript will go out probably tomorrow.
I can give you a copy tonight if you like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you
I
can
didn't
have-
hear anything prior to
Yeah.
the,
You can have a copy
After
tonight,
this
that's not
meeting,
an
I
issue.
can hand that to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what will happen is that everyone will be served, there will be a public hearing. It probably will be on a regular meeting date, and it probably would be at 4 o'clock, so it doesn't interrupt the meeting. And then everyone will have an opportunity to speak. And if there's a motion to dismiss made, that will be heard first. And both sides will be here, and both sides will have an opportunity to comment, because when the commission hears something like this, you are acting as triers of the law and the fact, so you're acting in a judicial capacity. So it has to be run like a courtroom. Okay?
And we still are waiting for transcripts ourselves.
Correct. And
We haven't been able to look.
my
at the
understanding was
appeal
they go out once the
Correct.
hearing date is set, then everybody gets a certified copy of,
Yeah.
of the whole package. That was my understanding.
So we're here to talk about the date.
Oh, we're still in open public comments, so if there's nobody else, we can close the public comment. Or no, we have to come back from recess, excuse me, sorry. Let's come back from our yes, we put on recess, so
Okay.
somebody needs to make a motion to,
Make a motion.
I make a motion to,
Okay, well, he just made a motion to
Return from
open.
the
Adjourn the recess.
I just
Thank
need a
you.
second.
Watson second it.
Okay.
Thank you. Roll call?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
So Kim Ayers, 11th Street. Just a question. So have you ruled this a legitimate appeal? It's a legal appeal that you're accepting?
Nobody has ruled anything, and obviously, anyone can file an appeal, and if they do, then we would have to hear it. They can file in Superior Court. If they do that, they have a 45-day deadline, which I understand is not run, or they could file before us. There would be a 10-day deadline. The question is, when does that start to run? And
Right.
there are all kinds of legal issues that I really don't want to get into now. And I think the board's going to have to, if there's a challenge to the timeliness of the appeal, which I understand from talking to Mr. DeSanto may be the case, the board's going to have to rule on that. And then if someone's dissatisfied with what this board does, obviously, either side can take an appeal of that to the Superior Court in a prerogative writ application. Okay?
Right, I understand all that as a licensed planner. I'm just saying, if you get an appeal and you see the date, wouldn't you say, yes, this is acceptable and let's proceed? Or wouldn't you say, okay, this is not within a time frame, there's no need to schedule a meeting?
Well, there's legal argument that could be made either way. So we'll have to let the parties come to a hearing, make their argument, and the board can make a ruling.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Okay, seeing nobody else, we'll close the public comment for the work session and move to the discussion items.
Right, and the discussion item is the appeal of the decision by the Zoning Board of Adjustment by Richard Abbott. So,
If I just make a comment, transcript has already been prepared, so we don't have an issue of having to wait till that gets done. On the other hand, lawyers being lawyers like to submit legal briefs, which they're allowed to do. And so they're going to probably need some time to put that together. So you may want, and then the other thing is, you need to select a date when all 5 of you would be available, and you need to decide whether that should be on a regular meeting day, and if so, is 4 o'clock, does that work for all 5 of you or not for all 5 of you? So those are things that you really need to talk about tonight and try to come up with a date. And then once you do come up with a date, then the clerk can send the notices out and the transcripts out. I think she's already preparing for that.
So my only question, Brock, is there a time frame? We want to make sure that everything's met in the time frame, as I believe Sean was asking, is everything being done? Is it 10 days from?
Here's what the time frame is. Once there's publication took place on January the 10th. The notice of appeal was filed on the, I believe, the 1st of February. We have 95 days to decide that. That's the time frame that applies to us. The other time frames are going to go to whether or not the appeal was timely, and you'll have to make a decision on that after that's been briefed and after the attorneys have been noticed and they're here to argue.
Okay.
So I'm looking at my calendar, I don't know, you're a lawyer, I don't know how long it would take to prepare the brief. What's sufficient, a month, is a month sufficient?
I would say the earliest you should schedule it would be the second meeting in March. You could do it the first meeting in April, and I wouldn't go much past the second meeting in April. That would be my suggestion. And I think it would be safer to schedule it to begin at 4, because otherwise it's going to run up against our other meetings. Unless you don't want to have a work session that day, that's a possibility.
Some of us have full-time jobs and work. I don't know what Watson's schedule and Commissioner Romanik's schedules are.
Can you put your mic on? Thank you.
And I know some of you work and have working schedules, so that's something else to take into consideration.
I don't know what time you're done.
We'll make it work at 4 if that's what the rest of the board wants.
Yeah, I'm very flexible with my full-time job.
Then I would recommend we start at 4 o'clock.
April?
The only question I have with 4 o'clock is, yes, it's making it more feasible for the meeting, for the commission meeting that night, but is it going to limit people's ability to also be here for the meeting?
Well, I think that you have to balance that against the amount of time that either party may want to make a presentation to the board. So if you started at 5:30 or something like that, that's not enough time. If you start at 4 o'clock, that gives them at least 2 hours. And we had one of these in the prior commission, and I think it took probably every bit of 2 hours.
Does it have to be on a meeting day?
Well, it's easier to get all 5 of you here on a meeting day.
Well,
That is true.
We just have to
But-
legally advertise it, which I have to do anyway, so
Either way.
it doesn't have to be on a meeting
You
day
can do it on
now.
another
It
day,
could be a different day.
but it
Absolutely.
usually works best if you do it on a meeting day and you schedule it early that day, because you're going to have to come here anyway, but that's your call.
Yeah, my concern is the same as Commissioner Hewitt's, is making sure that everybody else, I don't know if,
that's-
both parties have full-time jobs. I'm sure Mr. Thom has a job, and we all have to rearrange our schedules, and I think it would be best that everybody has the ability to be there,
I
for
could
both
also-
sides, so.
I could also point out that if for some reason the case was not completed at the end of the 2 hours before we started our 6 o'clock meeting, it could be adjourned, and that's why you want to get this scheduled, because you do have that outside deadline of 95
I don't think that would
days.
be a smart idea to cut it up and break it up either. We would have to adjourn and come back to it. I think that it would be better to have one session, make sure everything's heard, fresh in our minds, and we have both,
If I remember correctly, the last appeal went for about 3 hours, and we ran over into the scheduled commission meeting, finished the appeal, and then we commenced to go forward with the regular scheduled commission meeting that night. I don't know, but that's how I remember it.
Well, if we didn't schedule a work session, that would give us from 4 to 7, it's 3 hours.
Yeah, I think that would be wise.
I agree with that. No work session on what date we pick.
So, well, the second meeting in March would be on the, the 20th? No, the
21st.
I think I have stuff scheduled though, but maybe April 4th would be better for that way to make sure everything's like a clean slate.
You already have an agenda working? Or is it?
Yeah.
Everybody else good with that?
What date is that?
Which one? The
April
21st?
4th
April 4th.
April 4th?
at 4 p.m. That way we don't have to worry about anything that's already pre-scheduled for the next meeting.
Mr. Tom, is that, are you available that date?
I am available whenever we need.
Okay.
Okay, so I would just need somebody to make a motion to schedule that.
Make motion.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second to schedule the appeal hearing for April 4th at 4 p.m. Can I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
And Mr. Tom, if you have a motion that you want to file, that will be heard first before we get to the merits of the appeal, okay?
All right, so we'll move on to discussion of commissioners. Commissioner Romanek?
Nothing at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Commissioner Hewitt?
Nothing at this time.
Commissioner Watson?
Nothing at this time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, just one thing, and the opportunity to talk to Commercial Township about the water project in Laurel Lake. They are sharing in the engineering, so that was good news today. That will save us some money, save them some money, and hopefully make it better to the DEP. That's all.
Thank you. I don't currently have anything at this time. We'll go to public comment. If anybody would like to address the commission, please come to the podium, state your name, your address, and your concern. Please limit those comments to approximately 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Risley. I live in Millville and Val Lane. I am a volunteer with Our Future First. I work a 9 to 5, so I don't think I'll be able to make it to the appeal meeting. But I do want to just share some of my opinions. For one, it upsets me that we had to schedule it out so late. I understand that we want due time to prepare, but this has been a work in progress for 5 years now, this community center and the programming that we're aiming to do. And so by extending this out another 6 weeks, that's another 6 weeks that we can't use our center and we can't run programming that we already had planned prior to this appeal. So that is just a little bit upsetting, and I do want to share my thoughts on that, and maybe that can be considered with scheduling moving forward, because like I said, that's 6 weeks that our kids won't have the programming that we're trying to run. In addition to that, I do just want to share my opinion on the appeal and the statement that was made at the prior meeting. The part that really stuck out to me about it, honestly, was the discussion of our kids who rely on public transportation, or I should say our youth who rely on public transportation, hanging out until their ride comes, as if it's a crime for our children to have a safe place to stay while they wait for their rides. Not everyone has the privilege of a parent coming to pick them up from whatever event that they may go to. And so I hope that when we're considering the merits of the appeal, even if it gets to that point, we do consider the basis of, if we're arguing that that is part of the negative criteria that would outweigh the inherent good, right? That is the basis on which this variance was approved. Because when you have a D variance, it has to be approved based on an inherent good that the use of the property will provide. The fact that they brought that up makes me feel like that is going to be the negative criteria that they're going to try to argue the merit of the appeal with. I hope that we consider that our youth simply existing in a space that is they're meant to exist in, whether that be public transportation, a community center built for their use. I hope that we just think about the fact that that is not criminal. There is no negative consequence that will not negatively impact the area that they're in. In fact, it will help part of the problem that a lot of our community members share, or they express, that, you know, our kids don't have anywhere to go and they don't have a safe place. we've had a lot of obstacles in this journey. We've been doing this for 5 years, and I've been a part of almost every single part of this process for the last 5 years. And this is another roadblock, it's another obstacle, but the mission of our organization is to help our youth overcome any barriers that they may face to success. And so I hope that this appeal is just another obstacle that will prove that when you work hard and you're dedicated and you have your community and you come together, you can overcome anything. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could clarify something, the fact that someone filed an appeal, that does not act as a stay that would prevent the applicant from moving forward with their, I mean, you have your resolution which approved the use variance. Now, there may be some other things you're going to need to do, but but the fact that there's an appeal doesn't mean you can't move forward with your project.
Okay, seeing nobody else, we'll close the public comment portion of this evening's work session and move to closing comments of commissioners. Commissioner Romanek,
All good. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Watson.
I'm good, thank you.
Nothing at this time.
Nothing at
Commissioner-
this time.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming out for this work session and just being a supportive community for everything here, from the film festival to the library to our Future First. It means a lot. Speak and be heard, and we appreciate that. We do have a regular session in just a few minutes here at 7 o'clock, so just ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.